Is it worth it to spend £54 per night at a campsite? Over the next few days, I'm going to be testing out 2 different campsites at very different prices to see, is it really worth it to spend a lot of money on a campsite? I'm going to be visiting the cheapest campsite in Dorset and the most expensive campsite in Dorset and comparing them to see which is the best value for money. Is it worth it to pay extra for all of the facilities? Or if a field with a compost toilet will do the job? Coincidentally, both of these are in the same area of Dorset, but I just went on PitchUp and went for the cheapest, most expensive, and booked those 2, with the cheapest campsite being £12.50 per night and the most expensive being £54 per night. With over £40 difference from the cheapest to the most expensive, there's got to be some positives about this expensive campsite. So stick around as I put these 2 campsites to the test, and you can help me decide which is the best value for money and which campsite you would stay at. I don't stay at campsites that often in my camper van because I'm pretty much fully off grid, so I only go to campsites when I need to kind of fill up water and things like that, but usually you can do all of those at the cheap ones too. But I'm going to be trying to bear in mind other people who might use campsites more often, families, big groups of people, and trying to fairly judge these campsites. I'm going to be rating them on 6 different categories, such as the location, the facilities, the accessibility, the nature vibes, the site rules, if there's good check-in, check-out times, and then if there are extra facilities on the site itself, such as a pizza truck or a restaurant. I'm pretty sure the expensive one also has a bowling alley, so that's going to be interesting. So enough of me yapping on, let's go camping. I have just made it to the first campsite for the next few days. So tonight is the cheap campsite. This was £12.50 for one night. Already I can tell that this is the type of campsite that I would usually go for. It's kind of a natural, pretty much just a field with like 1 or 2 toilets, got a composting toilet. I think there are showers, but they don't look to be working at the minute, but I'm definitely going to investigate that because I always try and find a campsite that at the bare minimum has a shower and water. Otherwise, what are you paying for? The views are really nice. You can see all the way to the sea. It's already 6 PM. I wanted to get down earlier, but I had some things to do today, so I couldn't get here any earlier. The weather is absolutely lush at the minute. I'm going to make some dinner, sit in the sun, and then later on I'm going to get a campfire going because this campsite allows campfires, which is rare lately that I've been able to find campsites that actually allow campfires. I'll give you a full tour at some point, but for now, let's just enjoy this evening. Okay, I finished dinner now. I had a very nice pasta bolognese. I'm going to make the most of obviously being at the campsite and go and wash everything over there, just because it's easier to wash up in a massive sink. Even though I already have a big sink, but I'm just going to take this and go over there. around here are very overgrown, which is a shame because it seems such a nice area. But had a quick little 5-minute walk down a lane, and now I'm going to head back to the campsite and get the campfire going. Good morning. It is time to go test out the showers of a £12.50 campsite. That was actually such a good shower. It was like really hot, very good pressure, which is rare for campsite showers or just any public showers in general. Yeah, very hot, very good pressure. Didn't turn off after 2 seconds, it was just a constant stream. Pretty good shower. Everything takes so much longer when you're filming and faffing around with all of that, especially by myself. Got some scrambled eggs and avocado on toast for breakfast. So I think the checkout for this campsite is 12, even though it's a very relaxed campsite, so I don't think they'll be too concerned. But the check-in for the next campsite is 12 o'clock, so I want to make the most of that one because that's the expensive one, with a lot more to do there, so I'm definitely going to be heading there at 12, so I've got the whole day today there. I think that's something that's really annoying about some campsites, is like you have to like check in at like 4 PM and then check out at 10 AM. You've barely got any time at the campsite itself if you're only staying for one night. Which, when you're travelling by van, you probably would only stay one, maybe 2 nights, unless you're staying to explore a certain area. This campsite though has been absolutely lovely. It is like dead quiet. There's a few people left this morning, so there's currently only me and 2 other people here, which is crazy. It has all of the basic facilities. It's very quiet, very naturey. I'm gonna do the official rating in a second, but yeah, enjoying it so far. It is almost time to check out of this lovely campsite, but before I leave I'm going to give you my ratings on this. Now obviously this is a little bit biased because I have a camper van and it's just for what I would use the campsite for usually, but hopefully it gives you a good idea. So location. I think this is a really nice location. It's got really nice views, very green, lots of fields around. You can see the sea, which is really nice. But there isn't really anything within walking distance, so there's not really any pubs that I can see on Google Maps. I tried to go for a walk last night and most of the public footpaths were like overgrown, so within kind of walking distance there's not too much. And if you have a car it's fine, we're literally 10 minutes from the beach, but just for walking is not the best. So for location I give this campsite a 6. Facilities, so showers, washing up, toilets, all of that stuff. The showers were absolutely incredible. There is like freezers and plugs and stuff as well, which is really nice if you're just coming in a tent. There's no electric hookup though, and the toilets are pretty simple and there's not too many of them, so for that I give the facilities a 7. Accessibility, so are the roads easy access and things like that. The roads are a bit narrow nearby but not awful, to be honest. There is really good mobile data signal here, which is really nice and a bonus, but the field itself is quite sloped, so for that I give it a 7. Nature vibes, this is actually a really nice campsite. It's super quiet, there's only a few people here. Maybe weekends it might get a bit busier, but it does feel really naturey, so it gets a 9 for nature vibes. Site rules, so like, is the check-in reasonable? Are they quite relaxed with things? Do they allow campfires? This one allows campfires. They even offer free wood, I think, but I did get an email say that they've ran out, so I had to bring my own. There's like a little fire pit for each pitch already on the field, which is really nice. They're also really relaxed. I've not spoken to any staff members. I paid online, just rocked up, pitched up, and it's been really nice. So for that I give it an 8. And the last category, any extra facilities. I did notice down there's like a little coffee shack. It's not open. I did also see online that they sometimes have a pizza truck here, but I guess because it's during the week and not summer holidays yet, none of that is open. Personally, I don't usually kind of go to restaurants and stuff when I'm camping. I usually have everything with me. That's probably because I have a van and a fridge and I just always have the food I need with me. So because they're closed right now, it gets a 4. So do you think I gave this campsite a fair rating? Let me know down in the comments, and it is time to go on to the next campsite. So I've arrived at the second campsite and I'm slightly regretting going for the most expensive option, but I'm going to show you why the most expensive option would be useful. So I've gone for the most expensive pitch I could find, which was the fully serviced hard standing pitch, which means there's a water tap, there's an electric point, there's a waste disposal on the pitch, so you don't have to go anywhere. I'm actually almost out of water, so that is one of the reasons that I kind of wanted to see if it's actually worth it to have a water tap right on the pitch or if that's just pure laziness. But that does mean I'm in the corner of this campsite. So here's a little map, and this is all of the facilities, the beach, and then I am all the way over here in the corner. So I'm pretty far away from everything, but this place is huge, so I think it's time for a little tour, and we're going to go see what we can find. try to show you as much as possible without looking like the weirdo that's just filming the whole campsite. So hopefully you got a bit of an idea of how big this place is. I didn't really show you the pools. There's an indoor pool as well, and I've not been to any of the indoor stuff yet. There's a restaurant, there's like 3 different bars, there's a gym, so I'm actually going to go to the gym now. I'm going to have some lunch here quickly, go to the gym, and then go to the beach for a little bit as the sun's out and it's so nice. Okay, workout complete. Time to head to the beach. Okay, I woke up very late this morning and I'm not an early riser, so I really don't like campsites that just don't allow like a later checkout. So I have left the pitch where I was and I'm now just parked in the general car park, and I'm going to see if I can just stay here for a few more hours, maybe go back to the beach again, and just see if they say anything about the fact that I'm just using the car park for the rest of the day. Well, since I packed up and moved the van, I did not want to get everything out again, so I came to the restaurant to see if I get some breakfast, but it is 11 o'clock, so I don't think they're doing breakfast anymore, and lunch isn't until 12, so I've got coffee for now. And yeah, it's quite a nice view up here, to be fair. Okay, I think it's time to finally leave this campsite. I've dragged it out a few hours. It's now, I think, like 2:30, I don't even know. The last thing I'm going to do before I leave is empty my toilet, throw away some rubbish, which I can do literally right here next to the car park, so that's pretty handy. So yeah, I guess it's time for the official judgment. Well, my judgment, I guess, because I think this type of campsite is definitely more aimed towards families, holidays. I definitely came to holiday parks like this when I was younger for like camping holidays and stuff. I think I've also been really lucky with the weather the last few days, that it has been so nice. That's definitely made it a bonus. Like today, if it wasn't so hot and I wasn't able to like just sunbathe on the beach and at the pool, then I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it as much because there's not really much to do. I guess I could have walked along the coast path, but yeah, in the rain. For kids, there's loads to do. There's an indoor pool, there's arcades, there's bowling, but as a solo traveller, I probably wouldn't have done any of that. So, starting with the location. Now, it is right by the beach, so obviously it is an incredible location. It's also near a few big towns if you needed to go to a big supermarket and stock up if you were coming for like a longer trip. It's right on the coast path, so if you wanted to do some hiking either side, you you'd be able to. It's also really close to West Bay, a lot of pubs in walking distance and stuff like that. So it is a really good location, but the location of the pitch itself I didn't really enjoy. I felt a bit like I was in like the retirement corner. There was a lot of old people just kind of sunbathing next to their vans. It feels like there's no privacy and stuff like that, so because of that it's a 7. Now the facilities here are pretty good. There's everything and anything that you would ever need: showers, hot showers, toilets. There's like loads of different water taps around, and obviously I booked the fully serviced hard standing pitch, which I think was £4 extra than just a normal camper van pitch, and it had the tap and the waste right on the pitch. Personally, I don't think that's necessary, especially as they had taps in so many different places around the site. So yeah, that definitely wasn't necessary for me. There's loads of washing up stations, bins everywhere. Facilities, really good, 9 for that. The accessibility, it's pretty much just on a main road. There's no country lanes you need to drive down to get here. If you've got a big caravan or a big motorhome, you'll be fine pulling up in here. I did get a little bit lost trying to drive around the site and actually find where my pitch was. So for that, it is an 8. Nature vibes. Now, obviously it is right next to the coast, along the coast path. There's a lot of green fields around, but because the pitches are pretty close together and because it just doesn't feel like you're in that, it doesn't really feel like you're that kind of naturey. Yeah, it definitely lacks on the nature kind of wild side if that's what you enjoy on a campsite. So nature vibes, 4, unfortunately. Site rules, like, are the check-in times good? I personally didn't like the checkout time in the morning. It was like 10 a.m, which I think is too early. Even 11, I would accept 11, but 10 just seems way too early. You can't have campfires either, and it does seem like they would be strict about some things. And they also made me like drive into the pitch a very specific way, which was kind of odd. So for that category, I give this campsite a 5. Now, this site obviously has pretty much everything. If we're going with the things that don't cost extra, it has 3 pools, a gym, I think there's a sauna and steam room as well. There's a little arcade, there's obviously the private beach, there's the outdoor pool. Did I say about the pools? Yeah, I said there's pools. And then in terms of things that you can pay extra for, there's like 2 restaurants and a bar, I believe. There's evening entertainment, which I think is included, but then obviously drinks you pay for. There is a bowling alley, which is additional cost, but that is pretty amazing that there's a bowling alley. So if it was raining, you would have plenty to do, especially as a family. So yeah, absolutely plenty of extra facilities. Because a few things are like additional cost, and sometimes if I go camping I don't want to like feel like I have to spend extra money, or like it kind of does force you to be like, oh okay, I'll go to the restaurant for lunch and spend extra, even though I've already spent £54 a night. So for that, I give this category an 8. That means that this campsite has scored 43 out of 60, and campsite 1, which was the cheap campsite last night, scored 41 out of 60. So they're actually very close, but I do think I'm a little bit biased in the fact that I'm travelling by myself, and obviously if you had kids to entertain, you would 100% choose this campsite. But I think the cost is a big factor, and are these extra facilities worth the extra £40? I think it's really nice if you're just going away for a day or two, you wanted to feel like you're on holiday. I've actually felt like I was on holiday today because it's been so sunny. Personally, I would go with campsite 1. I think it has great value for money, it has all of the basic things you need, and that is really what camping is about. If I was going to spend £54 a night, I could probably go to like Spain or Portugal or Greece and go on a really cheap all-inclusive holiday for that cost. So what do you think? Do you think I've judged these campsites fairly? Would you spend an extra £40 for 3 swimming pools, a private beach, a bowling alley, restaurants and all of that? Or are you happy with 1 compost toilet, a couple showers and a field to have a campfire in? Leave your opinions down below in the comments and let me know what you think I should compare next. I'm looking forward to hopefully continuing this as a little series, so definitely subscribe and all of that stuff to see future videos.